Hello guys, welcome. This is a new video for my English class. And in this opportunity, I'm going to talk about the differences between the simple past, the present perfect simple, and the present perfect continuous. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know when you have any questions. And welcome. Welcome again. And as you can see, we have two different pictures of Paris in one. One is an old picture of Paris from the 19th century, and we have a new or a current picture of Paris in the 21st century. I'm using this picture because for this video, we're going to talk a little bit about art. What is the objective of this video? What are you going to learn in this video? Well, you're going to learn how to connect the past to the present. And how are we going to do that? We're going to review the use of the simple past first, and then we're going to see how we can connect the past to the present with the present perfect simple and the present perfect continuous. And to do that, we're also going to talk a little bit about art. Do you remember this picture? Have you ever seen this picture? Well, this is a mural painting by Leonardo da Vinci in the 15th century. This is The Last Supper. In this picture, you can see Jesus in the middle with the 12 apostles on his side. We're going to use this painting as an example for the simple past. Remember that we use the simple past to describe actions with unspecified time in the past. That means that we know exactly when the actions happened. So let's see some examples related to Leonardo and the Last Supper. Leonardo da Vinci painted the Last Supper in the 15th century. We use the simple past because we know exactly when Leonardo da Vinci painted the Last Supper. Leonardo worked on the Last Supper from 1495 to 1498. We haven't a specific date in the past, so we use the simple past. The specified date in the past is 1495 to 1498. Leonardo worked in this painting for 3 years. Da Vinci invented a new painting technique. He used tempera on stone. This is something we have discovered about the Last Supper and about Leonardo that happened in the past. Remember that Leonardo da Vinci is not alive. Leonardo is dead, so when we talk about his inventions, we use the simple past. The technique da Vinci invented didn't work. 50 years later, at the beginning of the 16th century, the painting lost its color. We know exactly when the painting lost its color, so we use the simple past. Finally, in 1980, the restoration started. Unfortunately, the Last Supper lost much of its original color. In this case, we use the simple past because we know exactly when the restoration started. Some people didn't like the result of the restoration. This is an action that happened in the past, and we know when the restoration finished, so we use the simple past for these examples. Next, we have a poster, we have a picture of the movie Marie Antoinette, directed by Sofia Coppola. The actress in the picture is Kirsten Dunst, and we're going to use the life of Sofia Coppola as an example for the present perfect. Do you remember what is the use of the present perfect? We use the present perfect to describe actions that happen in the past but don't have specified times. They have non-specified times in the past, either because the actions are unfinished, repeated, or very recent. Do you remember what are the 4 types of actions that are related to the present perfect? Well, remember that we have actions that started in the past and continue to the present, repeated activities in the past when the person is alive, life experiences, and very recent activities. Let's see some examples of actions in the present perfect with the life of Sofia Coppola. Let's go with the first type of sentences for the present perfect. Sofia Coppola has been an actress since she was a baby. She was in her first movie when she was a baby, and since then she has continued acting. This is an action that started in the past and continued to the present. Sofia Coppola has been married with Thomas Mars for 9 years. That means that in 2011, Sofia Coppola got married with Thomas Mars and she is still married. Sofia Coppola and Kirsten Dunst have known each other for 13 years. That means that 13 years ago, they knew each other, they met, and they still know each other because none of them has died. These are examples of actions that started in the past and continue to the present. These are examples of actions that started in the past and continue to the present. Now let's see examples of actions that are repeated activities in the past. Sofia has directed 8 films. That means that 8 times in the past she has directed movies, but we don't know specifically when the movies were directed. Sofia has participated as an actress in 15 movies, and Sofia has produced 7 films. These are examples of actions that were repeated in the past, and we don't know exactly when they happened. And I have only seen 3 of her movies. This is a repeated activity in the past. Let's see some examples of life experiences. Have you ever seen a Sofia Coppola film? I have never seen any of her movies, and I've never met her. Have you ever been in a movie? I haven't acted in any of her movies. So these are examples of sentences used with the present perfect simple that are examples of life experiences. And now let's see examples of very recent activities. I've just finished watching Marie Antoinette, and I loved it. I've just heard Sofia Coppola on the radio talking about her latest movie. These are examples of very recent activities. These are examples of sentences in the past that we do with the present perfect, but it is the present perfect simple. This is a picture of a very talented and very famous Japanese artist called Yayoi Kusama, and we're going to see some examples. We're going to use Yayoi Kusama as an example for the difference between the present perfect simple and the present perfect continuous. Sometimes the use of the present perfect simple and the present perfect continuous is similar. Let's see 2 examples. Yayoi Kusama has painted since she was a child, and Yayoi Kusama has been painting since she was a child. Actually, there's no difference between those 2 sentences because she started painting a long time ago and she's painting now. Because we're talking about a sentence that has a very long duration. That means that you can either use the present perfect simple, has painted, or the present perfect continuous, she has been painted. So there are some occasions, there are some examples in which the present perfect simple is very similar to the present perfect continuous. Now let's see some examples in which the present perfect simple and the present perfect continuous are different. Present perfect simple. I have watched the movie Parasite 5 times this year. What kind of activity is this? Well, this is a repeated activity in the past. Because I have watched this movie 5 times. Because it's a repeated activity in the past, we use the present perfect. Leo has read many books that Gabo wrote since last summer. This is also a repeated activity in the past, and we use the present perfect simple for that. Sebastian and me haven't seen each other since Christmas. This is an example of an activity that started in the past and continues to the present because we saw each other in Christmas. But since then, we haven't seen each other. It's an activity that started in the past and continues to the present. I have never met a famous person is an example of a life experience. It's something that's never happened and I use never. And Claudia hasn't opened any schools in Bogota. Yet, we use yet, and in this case, well, the schools were closed at some point in the past 2 months ago, and any of the schools have been open. So we use the present perfect simple. Now let's see examples of the present perfect continuous. I have been watching this documentary about Yayoi Kusama for 2 hours. It's fascinating. This sentence focuses on the duration of the sentence. I have been watching this documentary about Yayoi Kusama for 2 hours. It's an activity that started in the past and continues to the present. 2 hours ago, I started watching the documentary and now I am still watching it. Yayoi has been working on a new painting for 3 days. That means that 3 days ago, she started painting a new painting and now she's still working on it. It's an activity that started in the past and continues to the present, but in this case, we are emphasizing on the duration of the action. Laura hasn't been listening to me since she turned the TV on. That means that I was having a conversation with Laura. She turned the TV on, and since the moment in which she turned the TV on, she hasn't been listening. I am focusing on the duration of the action. It started in the past and continues to the present. I have been reading this Yayoi Kusama biography that you recommended for the last 20 hours. 20 hours ago, I started reading the biography and I'm still reading it now. I'm focusing, I'm centering, I am emphasizing on the duration of the action. And last, I have been studying art history for 9 months and it's really exciting. That means for that 9 months ago, I started studying art history and today I'm still studying art history. I am focusing on the duration of the activity. So, we can say that one of the differences between the present perfect simple and the present perfect continuous is that, as I have explained before, we have 4 uses for the present perfect simple. One of those uses is that we use the present perfect simple to talk about repeated activities in the past. So we focus on the amount of time something has happened, but the present perfect continuous focuses on the duration of an action. And that's how we conclude this explanation of the differences between the simple past, the present perfect simple, and the present perfect continuous. Remember to watch this video again if you have any questions and let me know when you have doubts or if there's something you want to know. Thank you very much for watching this video and enjoy the rest of your day.